other great thing about consultancies, like I was saying, is that you can start to turn away more of the commercial jobs. So you have way less hustle. Way less hustle and way more accomplishment. And if you end up, I've had a couple contracts that I just let them go because I wasn't interested in it anymore. And I'd achieved it and we built the brand to a certain level and and I just didn't want to do it. I was like, okay, like I've done what I'm going to do here and the brand's built and I'm going to move on. I want to go do it again. You know, I'm like, I love startups. So, and like working with young people who are like rebranding and things like that. So sometimes it's like my accomplishment is just what I've been able to do with sales and PR and the images I was able to create and like rebrand a whole company. And you can take that once you finish it. It's like so much less work and you can do so much more with results. And and your storytelling and your voice abilities and skills get honed in so great. Like practice over and over again with the same group of people, you get real good. Really good at it. And and then it's like once the contract is finished, I can go somewhere else and start it again with a new crew, usually for more money, because I have all these accomplishments that I did with the last company. So sometimes it's like, what we'll do is like, oh, when the contract I'm in is ending, we'll say, oh, the agency will call the competition and be like, Sally's, agent, her contract's up with these guys, and are you guys interested? And look what she did, and like that. And so we're able to get more money for a different kind of, another kind of consultancy. And with this inside the same market segment that I've been able to build this relationship, start to create this experience in a certain demographic. So that's like the other good thing about consultancy is you start to have to run around and do less hustling, and you can really hone in on your skills, like the stylist, like the voice, the storytelling, and inspiration, research, shopping, all that stuff. Makes sense? Okay, let me just see here if there's any. And we'll talk about this tomorrow, but it's really important when you start negotiating consultancies to have a really good lawyer and a really good agent. And I'm probably one of the only stylists who says this, but you must have a good lawyer. You've got to. Because those contracts, like, you just have to protect yourself because people will do crazy stuff. Like, I was negotiating with a huge mass market company that everybody in here would know the name of, and the contract was like basically saying I was a slave. And it was like, okay, you're everything you do and everything you say and everything's owned by us, and all your presentations. And I was like, oh, but without my lawyer, I wouldn't have even known what it said, like what they were talking about. It's like, and then the company had tried to get me to work because they told me that my contract was based on the amount of projects. Like we were doing 6 projects through over a year. And it turns out when my lawyer read my contract that it said I was only commissioned for the year. So it was perfect because the client was crazy and kept changing the projects. So the projects were never getting done. Like maybe 2 projects got done instead of the 6 that I was committed to because they kept changing them. But then when I read my contract, I was like, oh, okay, well then I'm done in September. It doesn't matter anyway. Like, you guys kept changing it, and I'm not going to have to pay the consequence for that. And it was really funny because they were like, the marketing director I was working with called me and she's like, oh yes, you're gonna finish these projects, right? And I was like, if we renegotiate my contract and if you want to do another year. And she was like, oh, really? But you were committed to 6 projects. And I was like, no. It's like, I had my lawyer look over the contract. I'm committed till September 30th, 2009. And she was like, oh, and I wouldn't have known, like if I hadn't had my lawyer look over it and all that kind of stuff, like I would have just believed her. So it's so important to have a good lawyer and good agent in there to negotiate.